Now, the big patient, our volleys. How do we train volleys? They are perplexed the way they already are. I mean, even if my model was just to let the racket drop, I think it's a movement that you feel uneasy with, and the training with volleys has always the factor of the discomfort. So let's see how are we going to solve this. Actually, teaching the volley is very easy if you follow the right methodology. Okay, so let's see the rationale of teaching. The most important thing for us when doing the volley is having in mind the universal reference point and that we have to lift the ball. Not only volleys, but underspins in general. Okay, it's the same, but I'm just focusing on volley because when you start teaching underspins, you start with volley because it's the easiest, and if it's simpler not to let the ball bounce because it requires a much better sense of rhythm on behalf of the athlete or of the novice. So it's much easier to start from the volley because you just throw the ball directly to the player. Okay, so what you do? First exercise and the base, the mechanism of learning volley. Okay, so you just have your arm move like pendulum and you just try to control the ball. The same thing with forehand. So what to take care of? Wrist doesn't move. Hand doesn't move anywhere. In my backhand, it moves across my body, close to my body, and like hitting someone behind me. Okay, like this. And this is a natural position. That's not a natural position. I can't put force like this. I can't pull something very strongly. Okay. And this goes inside me as well. And always have in mind the universal reference point, because if I do the movement or this exercise without thinking of the universal reference point, it may end up being like a movement towards the back of me, behind me. That's not correct. The movement is towards the back of me, but the tendency is for it to go across the net. Okay, so it's like this and not like this, just like this. Okay, not like cutting. So it could be a very small movement, a bigger one, until the point racket, the ball leaves the strings of the racket, and this is the point that you can start giving the ball to each other. Okay, so feed me with the ball. You take the ball, you do it sometimes. Okay, that's perfect. Again, do it sometimes, and then 1, 2, 3, 2 and 3. Stop and correct it. Okay, so now he's inside him. It's okay, and maybe you want him to feel a bit more, okay, the universal reference point, which is at the other side anyway. So the same thing in backhand, but I am my waist is vertical
to the net.
Okay, so take the ball, play with it a bit. We have seen the reference points and everything. Okay, and now we just, okay, again, that's a very common, if this happens, because it's very common, just go closer. Okay, the first thing to do before you start exchanging balls is to do it, of course, on your own. Okay, so just do this and take it with your hand. Okay, same thing here. Okay, and then give it to another player or your coach. Okay. Okay, so of course, as you can think on your own, as you can already imagine, the next step would be me feeding him. So open, and now you do the same again. Okay, or you could do something like this. Take the ball. So you could do it one by one. So you give me the ball. So you give me the ball. And then you hit the other ball. Nice. You give me the ball. Okay, or you could even do this. Okay, so another exercise. Take the ball. Okay, and stay in the finish of the movement. So you give me the ball, and I give him the ball, and he tries to catch it with his racket. His racket is, he's trying to have it horizontally and try to catch it and give it. Okay, or directly, just catch it and give it. Okay, so it's really common, okay, because there is no system to try to do things. Please try not to do things. If you do the basic movement and you train the basic movement and you do variations, as we will see later, and mix shots and stuff like that, that's enough. Better coordination brings more speed and more explosiveness and stuff like that. Having someone moving his hand fast, what you're doing is you're feeding his neurotical self, okay, so that's very bad psychotherapeutically, and you're just feeding his future injury. Okay, so don't do that. That's enough. You don't need to do anything else. You have to not to do anything else. And some basic throws. Okay, so like this, that's enough. Okay. And you could also do something like, in the same sequence, you could do something like a drop. So you give me in my hand a volley, and now open. I want you to hit the ball so that without changing the movement, okay, with the same movement, to have the ball bounce in front of me. Okay, so that's the way you introduce drops as well. And you see how unified everything is. Okay, backhand. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Okay, and I want it to bounce in front of me. I want it to bounce in front of me. Perfect. So, there is one thing in underspins that needs to be stressed, and that has to do with the feeding in slices, which is slightly different than the way it is done in, for example, volleys. Okay, so if Polycarpos is practicing his forehand slice, okay? Okay, so Polycarpos is practicing his backhand slice. If I do this, of course it bounces in order to be a ground stroke, okay? Okay, this is a bit problematic. Why do I do slices? Okay, I can do them because I want to change the rhythm, I can do them because I want to vary my game, but it might be a tactical decision, okay, and it's a very fine shot. But what I should do is learn how to, this is the case in all other ground strokes, of course, but for slice it's much easier to learn it this way as well. Okay, it's always good to find the ball early and to find it on the rise and stuff like that, and at some point we do that in other ground strokes as well. But why should we train slide specifically this way from the very beginning and not a forehand drive? The answer is that contrary to a forehand drive or a backhand drive, in the slides we find the ball on our body. So if the ball is descending, it's not very effective to try and find it on our body because it will be very low, for example, okay? And we will have to bend very much our knees and stuff like that. So the best way to do it is like throw the ball towards the learner as if he were to train hitting on the rise. Let's see that. So not like this, okay, because now he was forced to find it in front of his, to find it to the front, but we want him to find it on his body, okay? So like this. Okay, it's obvious that it's much smoother and it's much more connected with the mechanism of the shot. It's like hitting returns. Okay. Possible problems in the feeding of the slice would be to throw the ball and the player to start very early the movement and then accelerate again. Okay, like this. The way we solve it is that we start from the contact point and we go a bit to the back. So we try to find what is the best opening for the learner. Okay, so if it's this, okay. If it's this, okay. But we don't want him to do this or her. Sorry. We don't want this to happen. Not two movements, one movement. And not one tensed movement, one relaxed movement. 1, 2.